in terms of efficiency, productivity. How much can I get done in the shortest period of time? I want to just kind of put that on hold for a minute and take a step back. I believe it's possible to have both, to be in your life full and to be in your work or business full, and not necessarily at the compromise of one or the other. All right, that was a kind of fun way to talk about something that's kind of perverse, right? 31 hours in a 24-hour day, checking your BlackBerry in the bed, in the bathroom, when you're eating with someone else, driving, you know, it sets the stage for the session. It sets the stage for what's happening to us in our lives. It's really important that we understand how being busy is keeping us from what's most important. And remember I said we're going to deal with this in two phases? The time management and the effective productivity piece, there are scores and scores of books and consultants that you can go to figure out how to squeeze more into a day. And we're effectively doing that, apparently. But at what cost? Why is it so hard to decide what matters? I think it's because of all the pot that's floating around. No, and I don't mean that one. Come back, get your heads out of the gutter. Pot meaning plenty, abundance, stuff, lots of it. There's so much of everything that sometimes it's hard to choose, right? It's hard to decide. There's so many things that are coming in and out and flooding us literally, that you can become paralyzed because there's so much. Abundance is a fabulous thing, and we live our lives still today as though things are really scarce, when in fact, we're overrun with the choices and the options. The second thing is outsourcing. Now, for those of you in businesses that were created because you were able to create a niche, you know, somebody comes to you to outsource your work, it's a fabulous thing. But the other thing that outsourcing has done is it's really stimulated that fear of things being taken away, of things being at risk, things going someplace, things that you used to have or have access to being removed and sent someplace else. It's kind of a double-edged sword. You know, there are clearly opportunities that have been created, but at the same time, it also has stimulated a great deal of fear around losing things, losing my job, losing the opportunities. There's so many sources. The final piece is technology. We all know what technology. It's fabulous, but if left unchecked, like anything else, it becomes a malignancy. You know, it just grows and festers and becomes something that's so out of control that we don't know how to handle it. And I think the biggest opportunity for us, you guys are familiar with the law of attraction. Everybody pretty familiar? Okay. It's a fabulous law. I completely believe in it. My thoughts do create. I understand that. But to me, laws that they didn't talk about was the law of letting go, the law of saying no with a thank you, you know, be gracious, and choosing less. Here's the thing. Attracting is not difficult. We do it all the time. Your heart is constantly broadcasting what's true for you and what you really want. Even if your mouth is saying something else, your heart's telling the truth. And so things are getting drawn to you. You may not notice them, but things are getting drawn to you regardless of what you do. You're thinking about it, they're coming. Here's the work. The discipline is choosing. The discipline is letting go of what no longer serves you. Releasing the things that don't fit. People, clients, clothes, appliances, across your life. And we're going to get into that with the 360 wheel, okay? That's the hard part. It's not wishing and hoping and intending for things. That you can do. This is the harder piece. Clearing out what's taking up space in all aspects of your life. That's the hard part. Saying no. How many of you are really good at saying no gracefully? Graciously? How many of you feel like it's impossible, it's really hard for you to say no? Okay, like 4 or 5, so it's easy for everybody else. Depends. Depends on the circumstance. Okay. But at least you're in practice, right? There's some places where it's easier and other places where it's more difficult. And I think that's true for everybody. Choosing less. What does that mean? It means, do I need another sweater? It means, how much food do I really need on my plate? How much do I have to do to prove who I am and that I'm worthy? You know, it's choosing less. And being okay and centered and clear on who you are. You put on the backs of those cards what you do well, recognizing and honoring that. You know, we don't have to necessarily do more. I have a phrase that I use with my clients that's reduce the effort but increase the effect. It's an operating principle for me. How can I do less and achieve or accomplish more? That to me is the practice, not attracting the things. That's easy after I've made my choices. So this time management thing is not about productivity. It's about choice. It's about recognizing those places in our lives where we've made poor choices. We've allowed the growth to overrun. We're like water. We take up the space of the container that we occupy. Guess what? 24 hours in a day, right? Every minute is accounted for. We're full. But the question is, what's the quality of that time? You're right. Every day we're occupied. We can be occupied. We can flow right into whatever space. If you have 2 weeks to put a presentation together, what are you likely to do? Use 2 weeks. If you have 2 days, because I know every one of you has done this before, you had 2 days or 24 hours or something really tight that you had to turn something around. Did you get it done? Yeah. Funny how that works. And then you were exhausted, but you could step back. Remember I said go out there, go hard, go hard. But then step back and breathe. The goal is not to stay out there. The goal is to recognize in this moment I'm going to be out of balance because I need to get that done, and then I'm going to come back. So the hard part is not your productivity. The hard part is not your efficiency. The hard part is choosing how you will use the minutes in your day. And what you're willing to let go of to create more space for the things you want more of.